What's going on, guys? It's Shu here, bringing you another review on WitchWatch. And now these episodes 19, 20, and 21, was a little bit of everything, and I enjoyed that. But there's a lot to talk about, so guys, without further ado, let's get to it. So we start this episode 19. It focused mostly on one thing, and it was where we saw Morihito actually going through some of his stuff as a kid, and we had already seen the whole episode with the comic strip and whatnot, and that was funny. I enjoyed that. But in this episode, we actually see this old letter that was given to him by Nico. Now, there's a story behind this. When Morihito and Nico were very young, we see that, they were childhood friends, but the problem is Mori didn't get along with most of the guys there. Like the neighborhood kids would always kind of like, pick on him, and like they were just too weak in comparison to him. And so Nico, being the only person that was like brave enough and actually wanting to be friendly with him, we see that, she also got messed with a lot too. And we saw the boys trying to have her be around them rather than her being around Morihito. And that wasn't fair, and she didn't like that. And so what she decided to do is that because of her emotions, how strong her emotions were, she wrote this letter that saying that she would always be friends with Mori. Now, present day, after hearing this backstory, we see that everyone starts to realize, like, wait a minute, especially with Nemo. She realizes that, wait, with her being a witch and her writing this letter and her emotions being strong, it could be that she kind of screwed herself over. And she actually wanted to know, maybe could be like some kind of blockage. And so we see that thanks to now knowing this, we have them convincing Nico to kind of have like this spell, kind of like what they had previously before, to kind of see the emotions that they might have. And everyone reveals their emotions towards each other, except for Nemu and Keigo, which was kind of funny. We'll get to them in the next episode. But we see that, here they focus more on Morihito. And in the end, we see that he didn't have any reaction, but his became like a flower into a butterfly. And it was very beautiful. So it was nice to see how like something from the past could help them kind of reconnect and kind of move on. And maybe we'll see maybe some more feelings on Morihito's part moving forward. But episode 20, we see that the focus was mostly on Keigo and Nemu. We see that Keigo feels left out because he's kind of useless in his regular form. Without the help of Wolf, he's kind of like unable to assist, unlike the others. And so we see that with him feeling this way, we have Nico kind of offering like, hey, I can help you, use this ring, kind of float around. This is a skill that I think you can master. So here, take this. And Nemo kind of goes and she shows up, obviously, and she kind of tries to help out. And her real intention is to kind of do what she was forced to do. And I say this in quotation marks because at this point she's willingly doing it. And that is to have Keigo go into wolf form every month, as we already seen before. And it doesn't work that way. In fact, we see that she actually has a moment where she actually has a tough time controlling her emotions. And in a way, they were kind of similar. Thankfully, Keigo kind of puts himself into a super focus mode and is able to save her, which was nice. I actually like that they had a moment with each other here. And we see that she's getting more and more comfortable being around him, which is great. But going into episode 21, we focus on our vampire lad, who he himself has a peculiar student president. And he also is going through where he doesn't get along with a lot of the guys. He kind of puts up this act of being the rich noble kid, and he doesn't want to do it. But he ends up befriending the student council president, which was funny. But the problem is that he's a strange egg, and we see that one day he, he became interested in monsters and whatnot. And of course, our boy kind of came out and said, I'm actually one of the monsters, but it's not what you think. And so when he wants to go meet these guys on a weekend, we see that he ends up meeting the wrong people, which was funny. It was actually the student council president from the other school, the ones we've already met. And through a confusion and all that, they actually seemed to get along, and that was actually kind of fun. I actually liked that, they were all welcoming towards him, and we're cool about it. But then in the last portion of this episode, we see how things get pretty wild. I think that was funny because all the guys turn into girls. They try to get more views. It goes great up until the point to where Wolf goes too far, and they have to apologize and basically start new. Like, that, thought that was kind of random. It was funny. I liked it. But overall, these episodes have been fun. I've enjoyed them. And now we're going to get back on track with these episodes, guys. I know it's been a lot, but we're getting back into it. So, guys, thank you. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you all later.